This is Bob from Trappers Point Camp. I installed 5 Terrova 24 volt trolling motors. So I'm going to show you a quick way of doing it. Got better each time, obviously. There's a little knob right here. That's got to be facing the head of the unit. That way when you slide it on, you can never slide it into the lake. So it's going to be mounted like this eventually. So now, that's part of the bracket system. So the first step in all this is, I got all my parts here and ready. You got to take off these, basically take apart the motor so you can get the bracket on. Pretty easy step. Set that off, don't lose the screws. Come around to this side. Same thing over here. Only difference is there's the cord in the way. When you get to the cord, you just weave it around. So there we go. Take it off. You gotta weave it around the cord. And that screw's gonna come out. And I just kick the screw out just so I don't lose them. Because of this part. You can't lay it nicely. I just get it out of the way. I move it up quite a ways. Okay, so now you gotta tilt it sideways. Very important so you don't forget. This knob has to be this way on it. It comes with both the nuts. Here we go. I'll show one and then we'll skip and stop the video. The short ones that go in there. The head's got to go that way, otherwise the bracket won't slide on. So the fun part is getting the nuts on, which you'll find out. So now she'll stop the video until I get this all mounted on and ready to slide onto the other bracket. So, you good? Yes or no?
Yes.
So I just use the open end 7/16. Get it back on there. There we go. They only give you 4 short bolts. I don't know why they got 6 holes. And the bracket company only gives you 4. So it says only 4 is needed, 4 to 6. But I mean, why not, you know, why not do 6, I guess. But I'm just doing 4 because that's what it came with, and that's what it says is all that's needed. You just tighten up all these, which I will skip ahead now, stop the video, but that's what you need is a deep well and a 7/16. Okay, now you just line these back up. The screws where I left them. Got all 4 bolts in there. If you want to plan ahead, you can buy a couple extra bolts. I think 4 lock nut ones are good enough, like they say, so I'm not too worried. Okay. Put the bracket on. I can skip this step. I'm going to show you it because I already know where the bracket needs to go because I did it on the exact same bolts. I'm going to show you how I came to this and why I put it, how I put it, and where I put it. You don't got to tighten that now because it's not staying on. So now you got to position it. The shaft's got to be 1.5 inches from here when it's down. So what I'm going to already put it where I know I want it. Let's see, right about there. No, too far. Right about there. But how I come to this, I want the head to where it's kind of in the boat. I don't want it sticking out, so when you're going up against the dock, you ain't got to worry about clipping it, right? So right about like that. And then what I do is I unscrew the shaft. It only go about this far because I got the trailer. I don't want it to hit the trailer. You quick release it. You gotta hang on to everything while you do it. Oh, I didn't go far enough. Thought I did. So again, and you get it to go down, and that's why you got to be careful, because that right there, right? You can tell it's more than 1.5 inches. It's about 2 inches. But that's the key. Go on the other side so they can see. You got to keep it about 1.5 inches away. So I'm making sure it's locked, which it is. And again, about 1.5 inches. So now, without moving it, the first couple times I had to do that. But now I got the head sticking over the side of the thing. So I want to put it where I want it. And I had it right lined up with that screw. I'm looking at screws that I had lined up right about like that. Yeah, right there. I'll try to show you without the fin hitting. There, like that. There you go, you got your 1.5 inches, you're good to go. So that's right where I want it. So now what you do is you mark around here in case that plate moves. I already got my reference, so I don't really need to do that. Then you take this off. Plus I know how to make sure that bottom bracket don't move because I've done this enough times already. And I want that head just a little bit further right like that there. So what I'm looking at is the head of the unit. Show the head. I'm making sure that's in the bolt because that's all I want it. I got people renting this, docking on the boat, so I put my hand on here and I slide that all the way off. You got to be careful because this piece will move that bracket if you're not paying attention. There we go. Okay, next step. 9/16 inch drill bit. And I already know I'm not going to hit nothing there. As I do this, I put the bolts in. The washer and the nut goes on the bottom side. Let me make sure I got her lined up yet. Yep. Right about like that. This one I'll angle because I already know. Yeah, it moves, so I'm going to put it back right there. Should have had my hand on it. There we go. Next thing you got to worry about is this lip. If you got a boat with a big lip right here, when you slide the motor on, it'll catch it. So you got to be careful of that. It barely caught on a couple of mine, but oh, interesting. Get that back on there. Got the drill bit back out. Clean it up good. So you can imagine what the next step is. It's the fun part. So you go ahead and bolt that down. Again, that's a 7/16. And you don't got to show this part. I'll get this bolted on and we'll go to the next step. Go ahead and stop the video. Okay, so as you can see, I got the four bolts bolted into the deck. Now you got to put her on. Again, it can't fall off. That's why you got the pin how you mounted it. Now to make sure you did it right, it's too late now because the holes are drilled, everything's bolted right. I guess you could redo it. There you go. About 1.5 inches in the shaft like they say on the instructions. And over here, this is important. I rent it a lot. I don't want people banging it against docks. So I got it just to where it's not going to be in there. And most time it's in the water when somebody's fishing up here anyways. So it's not going to be in a wader legs or whatever, casting or bringing fish in. It's going to be in the water. So now the next step is you got to tighten it down. Now that you got it in place, right? Like I say, once you do your drilling, you got to make sure it's lined up with the you know, you want to draw around that box so it definitely don't move. I've done enough of these boats now. Got to line it up here, there, right there. It's not always as far as it slides. So you line it up, tighten this up. Okay, so next step, let's get the propeller on. That's simple. Just got to make sure you don't lose a part when you're doing it. Okay. Oh, that was 7/16 yeah, I think it was a 9/16 inch drill bit and 7/16 inch wrench. Okay. So it comes with the nut on it, a piece of paper that you don't need. It kind of has instructions. If you follow instructions good, it's pretty simple. Throw away, throw away. You got to make sure you don't lose this middle pin right there. Very important not to lose that. That's a throw away. So you line it up right here, and you get the drive pin, and it goes in like that. Washer, nut. And you can go ahead and stop the video. Okay, next I'm gonna take a step bit right here. For some reason I got a soft spot right here. As you can see, you can't feel inside, but right here you can kind of see that's a soft spot, and that's where that's meant to go. There you go. So instead of drilling through your boat, check for that. First time I think I did it right here and I drilled through the steel. Then I figured it out that there's a spot already made for it and the carpet's hiding it. And what goes in there is this part right here. Minn Kota 2-wire receptacle. So, pretty simple. It doesn't come with the screws. So I had some screws that I could use that were self-tapping for obvious reasons, because there's steel around that hole. Put the plug in, wording upward, like that. And then, so my foot's not going to be in your way, no? Ooh, she twisted off. Yep, she twisted off. I felt her. Could have pre-drilled it, I guess. I didn't have to on the first 5. So that's interesting. So we'll make her work. Let's hang on. Get another screw. There's a little washer behind her. You want to line that up when you do it. I got it in there. Go slight angle. Don't know why that one broke, but it did. Find another one. Just go at a little angle. Hopefully I don't hit the other one. That's it. And I am. Thought I was far enough away. There, we'll go at that angle. Nope. Drill a hole. I'm still hitting that screw that's in there. Where's my drill bits? There they are. going right like that. Like I planned, but for some reason it would be difficult. Okay. There. Okay, still pretty level. Then, next thing is this wire. Okay, so it's the other 2-wire male part. Okay, so that goes like that, and then to the trolling motor, obviously. So that's the next step that we'll do. Okay, so pretty simple. It comes already pre-wired. I'll wire it myself. So this is pretty common sense, red to red, black to black. So we're gonna go ahead and cut the video. I'm gonna strip these wires. Everybody knows how to do that. So go ahead and stop it. I put some shrink wraps on there. I'm still gonna use shrink wraps here, but it's just for extra protection. So I'm using the shrink wrap crimp butt connectors. There we go. Pretty simple. Again, rinse, repeat, but I'll show you a little trick. I used to use a lighter for this stuff, and it was just a headache. So I don't use a lighter anymore. Go ahead and cut the video because we got to plug in the extension cord. Got it going? Okay, so here we go. I use a nice heat gun. And it's so much easier, especially when you're doing 60s and doing a lot of wiring. And you just wait till it starts sucking her down, and there she goes. And there she goes. That's simple, right? Okay. And then, you might just leave it run. There she goes. Heat gun's way better than using a lighter or torch or whatever. Doesn't seem to mess up the plastic like you can mess it up the other way. Oh, gotta get that piece right there. There's a bubble. There we go. Got it. So then, just for extra protection, because this one's out in the weather, I slide this over it. Overkill, right? But I don't want to do it again. So there you go. There you got her double shrink wrapped. Don't have to do that. I'm just, like I say, extra protection. I don't want to have problems down the road. There we go. Okay. One more. Oh, I gotta shrink wrap this. There's a bubble in it. I'll get the black one good enough. There we go. Don't want to touch the end of that. There we go. Okay, go ahead and cut the video. I'll get this one done. So now I just zip tie this cord. I got her done. I'm gonna go ahead and zip tie this. I'm gonna get this one with it because I don't use that. So right about like that. Oh, flip her around. There we go. The next step is the puck, and now it scares you in the instructions. And it tells you you gotta be 2 feet away from any power source, otherwise it's gonna interfere, blah blah blah. Talked to the marine company, they said don't worry about it. So here's the puck. They said they always put it up in this corner and it works just fine. So that's what I decided to do. Considering the first 5 worked, I'm not too worried about it. So you got to show what I'm doing here. Oh, game zip tied. So I'll get the zip tie off. Okay, so it comes with extra wires, maybe to make sure you're far enough away, but like I say, it works just fine. They sync them up, no issues. So you gotta feed this all the way through. Screws for that. There, I was gonna say, one step I almost forgot. I'll lose them. Got her going. Okay, so now we've got her fish through. The key is you gotta have, there's an arrow on here, you gotta have that facing the bow. Pretty simple. And I put the pucks right there both times. So basically, this one you definitely, they come with cheap screws, I'll show you them right here. And you definitely got to pre-drill, otherwise you will snap them off every time. So you make sure this cord's in a little groove. Make sure the arrow is straight. Where is my Phillips? I have it. Trying to make it as short as possible. Get to the point. Follow my bit. Way we can go. Cord's under there. Even, you know, you don't want to go too big with the drill bit so that it doesn't grab, right? So makes that bit work a little bit, but in the end, it works. Okay, I don't know if Rhoda can get under here with the camera, but I'll try to show you. Most boats come with this, and I got a additional wire in here, and it's a red and black. Red and black. Now this ain't the proper connector for it that I got, but I'm using this connector, but it slides right in and it works. So it should be a flat connector that goes into that. Yeah, they can see it. Okay, so that's the next step, is show it. There's the wires at the end of it, and I'm going to go ahead and crimp these on. I'm going to put them in there, and I'm going to zip tie it and tidy it up. See you at the next step. Okay, so I tidied up the cord, got her all connected. Tuck it in. Go ahead and clip these off since I got the cutter. Okay, so now if all went well, try to show this button. Got her? Okay. You hit that button, and it should have lit up. Guess not. Stop the video, I'll figure it out. Okay, we're back on. Well, it helps to have the red hooked up to the red wire and the black to the black. There we go. So it'll blink. I don't have the trolling motor hooked up, but I'll show you that process later. So go ahead, stop the video, and I'll get the next step ready. Okay, so I already know how these are gonna go. I'm gonna put that down in there. I'm gonna screw it in. Oh yeah, you can get a nice angle. And I'll still be able to fit 2 batteries in here. Okay, go ahead, cut. I'll get these screwed in. Okay, so what I do is I get the batteries prepped. I keep these caps on here so that you don't accidentally touch nothing, or nothing hits into nothing. So there we go, get them ready. Now I gotta show you what I'm gonna do. Before I attach this wire right here, I'm going to string wire through. Here's the wire right here. It's got to be 8 gauge. That's what they recommend, is 8 gauge. So it's pretty good wire. And then it's rubber coated now, so I ain't got nothing to worry about. Right here, get a little curve to it, and you got to get it to come all the way up there. So you can cut it, and I'll get it strung through. You got to cut. Okay, so I got them strung through. This is so you know what length you need. You don't cut it yet. So the next step is, I don't want to pinch these cords off. Next step is I got to shrink wrap them to that. I'm just going to go ahead and, where are they? Should be 2 tubes. Well, I'll have to find them. I'm going to go ahead and use just the 2, and I'm not going to waterproof it as much. Okay, so I got them shrink wrapped. Now what I do is I pull the excess and tighten her up. Save as much wire as you can, because the wire ain't cheap. Yep, so there we go. Lift her up. Over here, honey. Okay, so now I basically take they're gonna go to these 2 terminals because I already done enough of them, so I just make it a little, you know, you don't want it too tight, right? So I make it a little longer, cut them. There we go. Now I'll get some crimpers on, and then I will, well, I'll show you one more step. So now I got a Noco 2-bank charger, 10 amp, that's all I think I need. So now you got to get these cords also underneath. And that's where I'm going to need the step bit. This thing, I'm going to put it on this side, and I'm going to have a charger plug. So that way the plug stays put. So I'll show you what this looks like. Here we go. So I mount, what I found to work is I'm mounting it right here. And I literally screw it right there. So I will screw it there. But first, let me get this fish through. I'm going to fish these through that bowl down to the batteries. And then I'll show you the 24-volt system. Go ahead and stop. Okay. First step is you got to have a breaker. I believe it's a 30 or 50 amp breaker. Let me read on it. That'll tell me 50 amp. For 12 or 24 volt systems. And this is 24. This is the technical part. You hook this up wrong, it's not good. So this comes with a crimper already with it, so don't confuse you with the black one. We'll do a red one first. Okay, red one's gonna go up on this breaker. Oh, and I got the socket for it. I just got to get it. And they come loose, so you make sure you tighten them up. Where's my box of all my goodies? This one right here.
Behind you.
Yep, I see it. Okay. What size was this? 3/8. So of course you tighten these up. This one's obviously loose, but even the gold one's loose. You don't want that wiggle room in there. So you straighten her. And you get them tight. Okay. That's going to go on the red of the first battery. The black one, I already got them stripped to make this quicker. Yeah, I know it's a red connector, but that's what the Marine Department sold me. But it's a black cord, so it's pretty hard to mess up on. Crimp it. I love this crimper. And this goes on the second battery, negative. So I kept these on to make it simple. Positive, negative, right? So trolling motor, positive, 50 amp breaker. Trolling motor, negative, going to the second battery. Now we got the battery chargers. This is the onboard system. Again, negative on one battery and positive on the same battery for that cord. And I know that that's the last step for that, so I'm going to go ahead so they don't fall off. There we go. And then for this cord, again, positive and negative on the second battery, same because it's an onboard charger. So them go negative, positive like normal. I know this is done, so I'm going to go ahead and put this on. Now the key to make it a 24 volt system is... My wife didn't like that pliers there. Is it getting too close there, young lady? Okay, make sure you show this. This is the jumper. And it's going to go from one battery to the next battery, negative to positive. So I got it pretty simple here. Negative of the first battery. Positive of the second battery. So I'm kind of showing you how to install a Terrova and 24 volt system. So there you go. Of course, where's the socket I just took off? ½ inch. There we go. Tighten them up, and I'm going to run it through one more time because this is the most confusing for me until I learned it. Now it's very easy. You make sure you don't touch any other terminals when you're working on this. You don't want to touch two together on the same battery. Get everything nice and tight. We won't skip this part because this won't take long. Okay, so now refresher. We got the positive right here going from the trolling motor on a 50 amp breaker to a positive battery number 1. We got the negative from the trolling motor, black cable going to battery number 2. We got onboard chargers. Each separate wire goes positive, negative to one battery, then the other separate set that come from the charger all together goes on the same battery, also on the second set of batteries. Then the most important part is the jumper. Goes from a negative on battery number 1 to positive on battery number 2. That is it. Now I will show you one more step after this, and that is we got to get the trolling motor in the water and do some calibration. Go ahead and stop the video. Okay, gonna go ahead and screw in this Minn Kota charger. I only put one screw in. I'll tighten it up just a little though. There we go. I mean, it don't move, so I'm not too worried about it. And this way you can see the charge status. That's why I put it this way. And then, like I say, I'm going to do a step bit. And I got a receptacle that's going to keep this plug outside so that you can just plug to it with the extension cord every time. So it's going to go through there. I don't want to pre-drill with the step bit, just for the simple fact I don't know how big that receptacle is going to be, and I don't want to make it bigger than I have to. That's the nice thing about the step bit. I wish I could have showed you it, but it goes depending on the size of the hole you need. Okay, well, I'll show you out on the lake. So, we're going to finish the process. We're going to go up to the front here. Here, go ahead. I'm going to pop it in here real quick. Come on over, show it. Show the wires. Come on up here. So I ended up having to redo this. The female plug was bad. So the plug was bad. I switched it out and now it's up and running good. So we're going to power it up. First time in the water, so I got to slide this up to a proper depth. That should be good enough. Foot pedal, and she goes. Okay, so now you got to hit this button over here on the Minn Kota. It's going to start blinking. You're going to have to hit the pair. You wait till you get that audible sound, and that means it's paired now. Now it's, once you do that, you're done. Now you're going to power up this system here. Just show the remote, that's all that matters. Okay, so not too close there, right about like that. And then you're going to hit system. So system, you're going to find sensor cal right there. Sensor cal, you're going to hit the check mark. Then you're going to start it. Now I got to drive in a circle 2 times with the volt motor. Now, I drive 2 circles, come show the remote, honey. Come over here and show the remote. It's kind of fancy. It tells you how long you got to go, basically. So we're at 0, of course, because we just started. So this is the part you don't see when you buy a boat with this already installed. This is part of the process that marine dealer is obviously doing. So we're almost at 1. Okay, we did 1 circle. And then just show the remote, and I'll have you show the front of the motor, because that's the next step. So once you do this, it'll tell you what it's going to do. You probably won't see it because it'll be in the shade at that point. We'll find out here. So far it's good, but now it's going to be in the shade. There we go. Okay, so reading cal is okay. Calibration successful. Close. Now you gotta find system again. Then you go into setting down, which is sensor offset. So now I'm gonna hit. Oh, I hit the wrong button. System, sensor cal. That's what we just did. So now we gotta do the offset. Hit the check mark, and then all you gotta do is hit this button once you got the trolling motor facing forward. So go ahead and show it. Basically, that puck, from what I read, if you don't install that puck with the arrow facing perfectly forward, this is what the offset is. It's making up for your puck installation. So I'm going to turn that trolling motor. I think that's pretty straight, the head of the unit. So I'll come back here. Okay, can you see it good? Nope.
No, go like that.
Yeah, okay. There we go. So now I'm going to hit that. 16 degrees, 12 degrees. Then you just hit back, and it's already set, and everything's done now. Now we'll turn it on and reap the rewards. Let's see what she does. Okay. So we're gonna go up to speed. There we go. Away we go. Working perfectly. And now we're gonna hit anchor mode. That's the best thing that they ever invented. And there she goes. She's gonna anchor us in. So the install is 100% done. Again, took me a couple of days because I was busy, but yeah, that plug being bad right from the manufacturer, that was not cool. I'm like, I knew I did it right. Double checked everything, of course, and then I ended up finding out it was the female plug there. That was bad. Got a new one, put it in. And this is the finish of the installation. Hopefully you enjoyed it.